Odom. See the sun show in town for only 50 cents.
Step right up, hurry, hurry, before the show begins. My friends, stand in line, get your tickets. I hope you will attend. It'll only cost you 50 cents to see what life has done to those like you and me. See the man with the broken heart, you'll see that he is sad. He hurts so bad, so bad, so bad. See the girl who has lost the only love she ever had. There's got to be no sadder show to see. No doubt about it, satisfaction's guaranteed. So let the sideshow begin. Hurry, hurry, step right on in. Can't afford to pass it by. Guaranteed to make you cry. Let the sideshow begin. Hurry, hurry, step right on in. Can't afford to pass it by. Guaranteed to make you cry. See the man who's been crying for a million years. So many tears, so many tears. See the girl who's collected broken hearts for souvenirs. It's more exciting than a one-man band. The saddest little show in all the land. So let the sideshow begin. Hurry, hurry, can't afford to pass it by. Guaranteed to make you cry. Let the sideshow begin. Hurry, hurry, step right on in. Can't afford to pass it by. Guaranteed to make you cry. So let the sideshow begin. Hurry, hurry, step right on in. Can't afford to pass it by. Guaranteed to make you cry. Let the sideshow begin. Step right on in. Step right on in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Session 3 of the Global Black Feminist Reading Circle. My name is Randie Henderson, and I am one of the Black Feminist Reading Circle members of this online group. This session runs from January 20th until June 2nd and includes 2 week-long breaks. Our democratically selected reading material is Harriet A. Washington's book, Medical Apartheid, The Dark History of Medical Experimentation on Black Americans from Colonial Times to the Present. Our book group meets each Tuesday evening from 6:30 to 8 on the Google Plus Hangouts on Air platform. You may find the Global Black Feminist Reader Circle on Google Plus, YouTube, and Facebook, and always feel free to join us in reading our story together. Hello, everyone. Tonight I am moderating Chapter 3. I am Randie, and I'm watching from Atlanta, Georgia, and I hope my lights and everything stay on for everybody. We should be okay, though. And I guess we can start with Michelle.
Hello, everybody. My name is Michelle Odom. I am one of the co-hosts of the Global Black Feminist Reading Circle. Welcome. to session 3, meeting 4. We're reading Harriet A. Washington's Medical Apartheid, and it's been a very enlightening book. There's still plenty of time to join in if you would like to. I am watching tonight from Brooklyn, New York. Georgette?
Hello, everyone. My name is Georgette Moses. I'm watching from Columbia, South Carolina. I'm glad to see everybody made it despite weather and other circumstances. So looking forward to tonight.
I'm Joel JJ from Charleston. Glad to be here. I don't have much to say because I don't count much. I'm a man.
When you get off
Joel, you matter. Hi, my name is Venita Walker. I'm joining you from Connecticut. Welcome. Happy to see everyone here.
Hi, I'm Kim, and I'm also in Brooklyn, and I'm happy to be here. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, everybody.
Y'all know this week is my week, and so after I do the summary, I put people's names by the passages to make it flow a little more easily, because I know that we've been having technical difficulties and we've been going in and out. So like Georgette does the first question, reads the first passage and the first question, and then anybody who wants to give an answer to that question too, and then Michelle reads the second one, and then she also answers the second question, so that we're not all trying to see who's going to answer it first. The person who reads it basically is first. Chapter 3, Circus Africanus, takes us on a journey of black bodies put on display, violated, mocked, and other egregious crimes, all in the name of profit. So also this chapter is Circus Africanus, the popular display of black bodies. So in this chapter, Harriet Washington discusses the horrific life of widower Oda Benga, put on display at the New York Zoological Gardens. Henry Moss, a black man who sought to profit off his skin's color change, but was acquired by Dr. Charles Caldwell, and never did a show of his own again. Harriet Washington also discussed Saartjie Baartman, how she was paraded around multiple countries, raped, and only given a portion, if any, of the money her captors made off her body. And lastly, in this chapter, we learned of Joice Heth, said to be 161 years old, the anonymous wild men, Calvin Bird, Zip, Blind Tom, Thomas Bethune, and the performances of P.T. Barnum, who began his career by performing in blackface, but capitalized on his career by the exploitation of black people with vitiligo. This chapter was most troubling, but highlighted the fact that white people profited off of black bodies even without scientific reasons. This chapter shows us all how deep, dangerous, and peculiar white fetishes are, but it also highlights names we are not taught about and helps us better understand the iatrophobia Harriet views Africans of the diaspora and African Americans face when they have the option to seek professional medical help.
Number five. Okay. The most infamous medicalized display of captive black befell upon Saartjie, and meaning Little Sarah and Africanus, Baartman, who was born in 1789. The French Revolution produced the Declaration of Rights of Man. Since the late 17th century, the Khoi had been regarded as a missing link between human and ape species. Theories that rank ethnic groups consistently place Baartman's Khoi people like Odom Bengas at the bottom of an evolutionary scale. The use of the Khoi people is tied to fascination with black people and monkeys. If monkeys weren't around, what excuse would white people use? Isn't it odd how black people are considered everything but human and yet were often raped and fetishized? Well, when it gets to white folk degrading people or black people, I mean the list is so daggone long. We can loop around the earth, but I, you know, it's what you have going on with the Muslim Americans. It's what you had going on with Japanese, Chinese Americans, everybody else, the scapegoat. You know what I mean? People that are disenfranchised within their own people, they find themselves, um, they find themselves um, finding someone else to feel better than, and when they really don't have anything going on themselves, and you find that constantly all over again, and then that's why you have, the racism. Either they don't have something that they wish somebody have, i.e., colored skin. This is why they have a $1 billion tanning industry, or they don't have any lips, so they're going to stuff fat in their butt, and then it just goes on and on and on. Just goes on and on and on. So, and um, it's just like the man that tried to get back to the Congo. He tried forever to get back to the Congo, but like a rich Caucasian man told me this, which was a very good person. He told me this. He said, JJ, if money would turn to buckets of poop, a black man wouldn't have enough poop to make it in America. So uh, that's just how it is.
What did he mean by that?
It's not the money; it's the power. Okay, when you're the rule maker, you can set the bar anywhere you want to set it at. You make the test. You make the rules, and then you can change them in midstream. So it doesn't matter when you have that particular power. And so it's not about the money. I think people misunderstand the power. Heroes. I remember reading somewhere, where they was talking about General Colin Powell. It was like, hell, General Colin Powell, we made him a hero. Okay, some of your heroes are made, because they want them to be heroes. The other heroes are martyred, are the ones that are really heroes. They transcend, many years and generations, and they're the true heroes. So when the people are that are writers of the text, the writers of history, and they make the rules, and every time you think you caught up, they change the finish line. I tell people all the time, a college education is a piece of paper that includes you in the conversation. If you don't have it, it excludes you out of the room. That's basically all it is. It's made to exclude those minorities. If you're a person that's in power, that's old Joe. Joe got plenty of experience. He can do it. Come on in. You don't need ain't nothing but a college. Ain't no but a piece of paper. But when it comes to you or me, well, I'm sorry, sir, but you got to have a 4-year degree. That's the rules are rules.
And now that so many of us have 4-year degrees and 6-year degrees and 8-year degrees, they've changed the rules.
They changed the rules, and then you look at it over and over again. You talk about what's going on in society. I was talking to someone today, real quick. They say, well, what's going on with a lot of things? If you look around in your school systems, whether it be in college or whatever, gone are the jobs or the factory where the sense of entitlement by the majority to go and get out of high school, and their father and their brothers and everything worked at the factory or worked at the mill, and they walked out and they made $6 or $7 more an hour than the average person out of high school because they stepped right into a job. But those jobs just went away. You see, then these numbers are there where Caucasian men are not going to school. You know, it's a great swell of them that are out there that don't have jobs, they refuse to get jobs, and there's a level of frustration with them. But you see that Caucasian women, African American women, and even the minorities are going to school, and the jobs that they're going for, the Caucasians do not have, and so you have a bunch of people here that act like that idiot did in North Carolina. You know, that just, you know, and it's all over the country where they feel this, but where they're feeling this at is because they have this sense of entitlement about certain things in our society that have left them behind. And they've done a piss poor job in keeping up where they think, hey, you know, I wanted to go back to the 50s. Well, it's never going to go back there. They took your jobs, your people took your jobs, and they're moving to China.
That's right.
And ain't nothing you can do about it or me either, you know. But anyway, isn't it odd how people are considered everything but human and yet were often raped and fetishized? Hey, they still in the closet. They got black women, I know that, and black men. And they go and stuff. They go and stuff fat in their butts and everything else. But hey, that's all I got to say about that.
Did anybody else want to answer that question? I'll take the next one since I forgot to write someone else too. But before I moved on.
Okay.
I saw this picture today of a black woman, and I think I sent it to you, Michelle. And she's the wet nurse to this little baby, the white baby. And so I just feel like, you know, if you say we're apes, then why are you mixing your blood with ours? Are you insane? You must be insane. And if you keep finding ways to mix the DNA, and if we were apes, then why are we in your kitchens? You know, why would you eat after a monkey? So it just it's just frustrating to hear the duplicities, and that if I use this argument when I want to do this to them, let's all line up behind me. And then when I want to use them in a different way, I'm going to use a whole different argument, and everybody's going to line up behind me. The medical community, everybody's going to line up behind me, whether it's policing, whatever. And so it's just amazing to me how all of this works, and at the same time, you don't ever kind of say, well, I don't know. I just find it so, the duplicity of it is just amazing to me. And the goal is, let's keep moving the dialogue and the rhetoric and hope that nobody catches on.
Yeah.
Because we have all the power, so, you know, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I would have preferred them to say, well, look, we kicked your ass. We went over there. We got you here, and we're going to kick your ass. We're going to do whatever we want to do to you, and that's just the end of it. I would prefer that than all of this. Oh, we're good people, but we're good people, so you're monkeys, and this is why we're treating you that, because they want to keep their hands clean, and it's just the duplicity of it. It's just amazing. So that's my rant.
Well, they need the monkey. They need the monkey to justify to themselves their behavior toward us. You know, you always have to otherize the person that you want to beat up on. It's about them. And see, and this is the thing, when anybody is being abusive toward another person, physically, emotionally, verbally, it's about them. It's about their own weaknesses, their own insecurities, their own limitations, their own need to find ways to degrade, belittle, demean someone else, because when you do that, what you're doing is making yourself feel good about yourself. Well, you know, I have the power to do this, or I'm better than. So the monkey serves an important purpose, even when you're being good to the monkey. It's still about you. It's still about, well, look how good I am. I'm good to the monkey. I feed the monkey. I clothe the monkey. I house the monkey. I employ the monkey. I'm so good.
Wow.
You know.
Wow.
And so the object of the derision is the one that has to learn to not take it personally, because it's not personal. It's not about you. It's about them.
If I may say something, there's one paragraph that I found very interesting, which leads me to believe there is a degree of course, then a lot of Caucasians suffer from some type of mental illness, besides obviously the bestiality, because, can I read this to you very quickly? And I read this, it just resonated. This is during a time when Sarah Baartman was on display, and they were paying money, mobs of people, to see her. And this is very interesting. They began by staring at her in disgust, progressed to laughing at her, and ended by being aroused by her. So there's a lot of freaky element going on here with these folks too.
Hold up, did you
Not
say,
just in this instances, but the science, also the
Benita,
physician saying, well, we must, you know,
Benita.
Yes.
Did you say aroused?
Aroused. After she's jeered, after all kinds of profanities are yelled at her, after she's humiliated, and then they became aroused. So there's an element of not only mental illness going on, but a lot of freakiness going on, being that, of course, she's a monkey, and she's not human. So apparently, monkeys arouse them. I'm just, you know, I'm trying to make some sense of this madness.
Well, that's the key right there.
And that was a lot to say. That was a lot to say for Victorian gentlemen. See what I'm saying? You can be that low and still be called a gentleman. I'm thrown.
And the Victorian women, you know, there's a film about Sarah Baartman, and it depicts scenes of when she was, you know, on stage in the cages having to perform, and men and women in the audience going through just those stages that Venita just read about, and the women wanting to come up and ride her, rub her behind, and get on top of her and ride her, you know, yeah.
Wow. I have to agree with Venita about the certain level of madness going on here, because if you look at these so-called doctors, And we're looking at it, from this century, looking back, these are doctors, and they're thinking that, oh, you can sweat color off. Okay, and they'll use whatever is convenient at the time. Oh, we'll use this quacky science to prove our point, to support our views, and if that doesn't work, okay, we'll use our little edited religious beliefs here, I'm looking at it and I'm reading it and I'm saying, are these people crazy? And they believe this.
They were not sane.
Yeah.
Remember, we can mix evil up with being insane, and these folks were insane. And you have physicians that say, well, we need to get these African women as specimens. They'll be good subjects for us. But if all else fails, we'll have sex with them.
Yeah.
Right. I'm reading this. This is from our physician, Harvard grad, Christian scientist.
Yeah.
Harvard grad, Christian scientist. Okay? So, once again, and all else failed too, we'll throw the Bible. If that don't work, then we'll jeer, we'll demean them, we'll degrade them, and then we'll get aroused. I need some coffee. Now, so you know, it's hard to get details, Georgette, because this is sick. There's nothing unsick about this.
Well,
I agree.
Have y'all heard about these sex tours today that are going on now, where white women, European women are traveling together to, the story that I read about was, I think it was Kenya, where there was a tribe of men who are reported to be the best lovers in the world, and the men teach each other different skills, and they go out in packs to the beach to meet packs of women who are there to get laid, and some of the women don't want to use condoms because they're trying to have the biggest and best experience that they can have. And so when I posted it, it was just about this one country and this one tribe. And then a friend of mine came on and he said, well, these are sex tours that are apparently a big thing. I mean, I'm so behind the times.
Wow.
Well, your friend, you're like, well, how do you know? Say, don't blame me, I'll read, huh?
Well, this has been going on for a very long time.
It's called orgies.
Once again, you can always pretty things up when you want to. This is no new revelation.
Yeah.
Been going on a long time. That's my understanding, Joel.
Yeah, mine too.
Yep, mine too. Okay, now.
The sun shall begin. Hurry, hurry, step right on in. Can't afford to pass it by. Guaranteed to make it right. So let the sunshine begin. Step right in. Can't afford to pass it by. Guaranteed to make it right. Let the sunshine begin. Step right on in. Step right on in. Can't afford to pass it by.